Hello and welcome to June 2021. We're already almost through a new year. This is crazy. The time is going by way too soon. But thank you for continuously tuning in to listen to the articles that I read from the Love Exquisite Magazine. My name is Lynette Clement and I am going to be reading from the section called Learning by Design. I'm reading an article titled Free Will. So, as you may know, if I stumble over my words, I always have to say that because I usually stumble over my words. Um, I will go back for clarity. So, the word in the Learning by Design section is free will. So, make sure you check out the June 2021 issue of the Love Exquisite Magazine, available on loveexquisite.com for free. One of the things that God gives us all is free will. I should say, one of the things that God gives all of us is free will. That's how it's written. The free will to choose to do what is right and what is wrong. The free will to choose to do good or evil, and to choose to love or to hate. Let's begin by first defining what is right and wrong. And we should not define either from our own subjective perspectives. Here's the true meaning of both. Doing what's right means doing what is best for the greater or common good. Doing what is right does not enforce your own personal beliefs and is not based on your own personal needs. Doing what is wrong means doing what is immoral, inaccurate, illegal, not correct in action, as well as not in accordance with what is morally right or good. I am assuming that God gave us free will with the hope and intention that we would all choose to do what is morally right, good, and to choose love instead of hate. Let's be honest. We don't always do the right thing. I know I don't. I don't always do the right thing. I can, as my pastor would say, take your halo off. I can take my halo off and say, honestly say, I don't always do the right thing. And I'm sure you can too. I'm sure you can say that too, that you don't always do the right thing either. So when we look back over our lives, I'm sure that there are some things that we wish we could have a second chance to do the right thing instead of doing the wrong thing. Some of us, we wish we could have 3 and 4 chances to do the right thing. As we get older, we realize that we have to be careful about how we live our lives because the things that we did earlier in life usually follow us into adulthood. And you never know what you will become, whether it's the president, a government official, a business owner, or a famous celebrity. You also don't know how those decisions can affect your future. Sometimes I wish that God didn't give us the option to choose for ourselves what to do in certain situations because on some occasions we might not choose what to do right. We might not choose to do what's right, I should say, because it might be easier to do what is wrong. I now realize that free will was given to all of us to help us determine our moral responsibility. We are morally responsible for our own thoughts and actions and behaviors. Before we do anything, I think that if we asked ourselves, is this morally the right thing to do? All of us would make better choices in life. I know I would if I thought with that question in mind. Perhaps if we govern our lives with this question in mind, if what you do was going to be on the front cover of the newspaper tomorrow, would you still do it? So, what you're doing right now, think about it, or what you have done, if it was going to be blasted on the front cover of the daily news, would you still do it? I think you probably would say no in most instances. So we should at least, that question will at least make us think about doing what's right versus what's wrong. Yes, we can do whatever we choose to do. God gave us that freedom to choose. However, just keep in mind that all of our choices have consequences, whether good or bad. When we choose to do the wrong thing, bad outcomes are usually the end result. Usually, we don't think about morality until after we have had a bad outcome. It's true for me. There are some people who refute that we have free will because they believe that our choices are predetermined by God. However, if our choices are predetermined by God, let's be honest. If our choices were predetermined, we wouldn't do half the things that we do, and God probably wouldn't consent to most of the things that we do. Um, we also have to be honest that we don't always listen to God. So, in my opinion, this is one of the reasons why the Bible talks about obeying God and dying to self and submission, because we do have free will. So, if our choices were predetermined, there would be no reason to mention obedience, dying to self, or submission. Most people only think of free will as a bad concept when they choose to do the wrong thing and it produces a negative outcome. Even after knowing that God gives us the free will to choose, I still have to be honest. I did wrestle with whether or not God should have entrusted us with that great responsibility with having the option to choose. Because in my humanness, I don't always do what's right. Still in this day, back in the day, I'm not like I used to be, thank God. And I don't make the decisions that I used to make hastily and not with much thought. But now, later on in my life, I can say that I make better decisions now than I did in my teenage years or in my 20s. So perhaps earlier in life, I wrestled with why God entrusted us with free will because I wasn't looking at all my behaviors as moral choices. I really wasn't. And it's interesting to think about that now that I'm older. I think morally. And when I was younger, I wasn't thinking about morals. I should have been, but I can honestly say that I wasn't thinking that all my decisions were moral choices. We should. When we think about our decisions, we should think of them as moral choices because when we do that, we tend to make better decisions. So I wasn't mature enough to understand the importance of being held accountable for the decisions that I made in life until after those decisions had negative consequences. When thinking about doing what is right or what is wrong, I challenge all of you to reflect on the decisions that you've made in life that led you to where you are today, that led you to how you are living the life that you want to live today. And may your time of reflection lead you to think about the decisions that you made in life. And in that reflection, may you move forward living the rest of your life doing what is morally right, despite having the free will to choose to do otherwise. Think about it. It's merely a matter of choosing God or the devil. Which one will you choose? Free will. We all have it. So make sure that you are making a moral decision about how you choose your life decisions. That is written in the Learning by Design section of the June 2021 issue of the Love Exquisite Magazine. Choose wisely.